Alright folks, the TBT, Tier 9 Premium, Czech Breakthrough Heavy Tank, somewhat of a 277 at Tier 9, at least for the Russian server. Our server version is more like a VZ51 with 2-round autoloader of a 130 compared to a 122, but also we got the recent Sentinel in waiting, right? That's for the French. Plays like a medium tank with 2-round 120. So autoloader, premium tank, 2 rounds. Kinda similar to a 7.52, just one less shell. And yet bigger caliber, but it's slower than the Russian server version. Also, what's funny is it's a direct import in comparison to the likes of TST, which is the VZ60S, or the Charlord AP58 into the researchable trucks. So the model is completely the same as with the Russian server version. The only difference is the texture on the dents and the scratch marks, like with this area right here for the shell ejection port. So that scratch mark is different, but the model is completely the same. No additional side skirts, no different machine guns or fuel tanks, ammo boxes, etc. So completely the same model as with the Russian server version, unlike other imports recently. But I don't know if we're excited for another 277 at Tier 9. Also autoloader as well. I mean, it seems kind of bland, right? Compared to the likes of our server exclusive, such as the Zwilling, the E65 with twin barrel 88. That's funky, that's fresh. This is basically another copy of a VZ51 in waiting, but we can compare the model right after all the pictures. So yeah, 277, no cupola weak spot on the top, which is good. It's a very bouncy-ish of a turret, but our version has better armor than the Russian server version at the cost of speed. So here is the Russian server version. It is the same model, very much the same model. Unlike the TST or Charlord AP58 with different stuff on it, it's the same model. So the only difference is the scratch marks on the upper plate, on the shell ejection port. So we got more scratches on the bottom of the shell ejection or loading port, if you will. So very small textural difference, but the same fuel drums in the back, the same log. Does the log have different texture? Let's see. Kind of a different log, right? It's kind of chewed out on the right side somewhat. Like a beaver chewed out on the right side. It's a small difference, but visually it's the same model, more or less. So rounded hull front, similar to a 277 or possibly 907. But turret front, kind of like a Czech, more or less. Large rangefinder on the top. No cupola weak spot, which is good. And this vehicle is faster on the Russian server version. And they went full overboard on the red square for the hangar, but okay, we can talk about that later. So yeah, it's the same model. Well, let's take a look at the stats. Yeah, even the back end is, other than the log is different. Fine, different imports of the log, but 130mm 2-round clip. Shell velocity is okay. It's not great, but it's large caliber gun. 247mm of pin for AP. Gold shell doesn't pin really that high. I mean, it's still okay, but it's not like 330 or something, but 350. So 500 alpha, barely better than the 490 for the usual 130mm, right? So you don't really carry high explosive, but with 40 rounds, maybe a couple or 4 of them. So clip size is 2, 3 seconds between each shot. about 34 seconds for the 2-round clip, which is not that high of a DPM. Not really. It's not even 2000. It's sub 2000, about 1700 or so. Aim time is okay for a 130 autoloader, but accuracy kind of meh. 7 degrees gun depression without weak spot on the turret, which is good. 20 elevation, 40 rounds, 4-man crew for all the Skoda T50s or VZ51, 55s. Top speed of only 36, reverse of 15. So dramatically not as fast as the Tier 9 version on the Russian server, the same tier also. But only 14 horsepower per ton ratio, hull traverse of 28, turret traverse 25, that's even slower. 1850 health, and turret front is thicker than the Russian server at 240 in comparison to about 210 or so. Hull front slightly thicker at 130 compared to 120, but view range kinda meh, but still okay. I mean 380 is kinda crap, but whatever. Radio slightly below standard. So we'll do the comparison right now, but with the full stats in the garage, yeah, 1685 DPM. That's not great, but it's about the same as with the Sentinel with the 120, right? In comparison, this thing has a single shot 130. Yeah, 130 single shot. Has better DPM by like 300 or so. So aim time accuracy is surprisingly about the same. This thing has a faster aim time with the autoloader, but slightly weaker accuracy. I mean, fine, but still, that's pretty much the same. Just better DPM on the single shot. I mean, 10 alpha damage is not that big of a difference, right? Not really. Slightly slower turret traverse, fine, but health-wise, 1850 compared to 1700. I thought the hull armor was weaker on this thing. It's not exactly. The turret armor is weaker on this vehicle. And you can see with the actual armor model, you can actually jam shots into the cheeks or the gunner sights. But yeah, the gunner sights are 210. This part is flat. You can technically jam a shot right here. Also around the gun, it's about, let's see, there are areas of 38 or 74 effective, so you can technically jam a shot like with the VK72 in a sense, or Panzerkampfwagen Mark 7. It's around the gun, so you're not exactly impenetrable. You can jam shots, but it's better with our version, at least on paper, with 240. So that will help out with the cheek. Definitely help out with the gunner sights. At the gunner sights right here. Yeah, you can jam a shot right through there. On the other side is a lot thicker. Mostly. That's a machine gun port. Yeah, it can only jam it next to the machine gun port, but very small compares to the actual gunner sights. Yeah, very small. So, yeah, our turret should be stronger, but our version is not as fast. Upper plate, about the same, 250 if it's 130 on paper. So like with the 277, of course, jam it through the lower plate. Our lower plate should be weaker. That's usually the case, but yeah, it's not going to be 130 on the bottom plate. It should be like 100 or something. 120, never mind. So more or less medium-esque. We do have more health to go around. 80 at the hull sides in comparison to like this 80. It is somewhat V-shaped too. Yeah, V-shape at least on the top, but it's only 80 flat on the track, so more or less similar to Russian designs. Yeah, don't shoot above the tracks. That's the V-shape. There's no space armor though. That's the V-shape, but there's no space armor for the toolbox. Yeah, there's no space armor covering the V-shape, but that doesn't matter. The tracks are 20. So, yeah, as what you would expect out of a 277-esque of a design, but let's see mobility comparison. 13.8 horsepower per ton ratio, and 54 kilometers per hour top speed. Now we do have a little bit better engine power to weight ratio, but not as good top speed. 36 in comparison to 54, that's night and day. Imagine playing the IS-7 or 277 with only like 35 kilometers per hour top speed. No, it doesn't feel right, right? So that is pretty big. The trade-off is you get slightly better turret armor in place of the top speed. That is a big change. Camo 6.7 for the Russian server in comparison to 6.9. That's actually not bad for a heavy tank. That's getting to almost medium tank, but like a Patton. Still not great, but still slightly better. And 380 meters of view range compared to 370. The radio is a lot better on the Russian server, but the view range for a tier 9, 370 is kind of crap. Like really getting bad, right? So Russian server version has a more, I guess, medium tank playstyle with better top speed and better DPM. Our version is more bulky, slower, stronger turret front with faster aim time, so you play this thing more like a slightly stronger support, similar to a Emil, or possibly VZ51 with the autoloader because the DPM sucks. Normally I play with the VZ with a single shot of the 122. It doesn't have a 130, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 122, not the autoloader. Autoloader DPM sucks really bad, so you get a lot better DPM. And the turret is actually bouncy with the VZ51. It's the same turret on the 111 Model 6. So very small cupola, very good gun depression for the actual alpha damage, and Russian-esque of a design. So play with a single shot. You don't play with the autoloader. It's different on the tier 10, of course, but yeah, we have stuff like this, right? So it's very comparable to vehicles like the VZ51, but top speed is not getting there. Only 36 compared with the turbocharger, and 58. No, and better horsepower per ton ratio on the VZ51 too. Turbocharger, of course, but we got this vehicle in waiting as well. The French, similarly 2-round autoloader Sentinel, similarly. Yep, this thing. So 2-round autoloader 120. 105, I forgot, it's not 120. It's about the same alpha damage. DPM kind of sucks, but this thing at least has 45 kilometers per hour top speed. Much weaker hull armor. Much weaker hull. And a cupola on top too. Turret front, debatable. Yeah, space armor on the turret front, but yeah, I mean, when you get copies and duplicates or vehicles of the same playstyle, it kind of gets diluted, right? It doesn't feel as special as with stuff like twin barrel German vehicle, the Zwilling. That's kind of fresh. So yeah, duplicates or multi copies of the same vehicle feels kind of redundant, but yeah, this thing feels okay. I mean, at least has the health. 1850 health is pretty chunky for a autoloader, and a breakthrough at that. The only downside to this vehicle I could think of is more or less the DPM. I mean, the turret front seems better than what you would expect out of a autoloader heavy tank, but no cupola weak spot. Shell velocity is fine. Alpha damage could be slightly better, like 550 for that DPM. I mean, but yeah, it feels kind of meh, right? I would prefer a single shot with better DPM if I'm playing with this vehicle. You can make use of the turret armor more or less more effectively. Just take more shots into the turret without the cupola weak spot. Give me a single shot gun with better DPM. I can hold out the places longer, right? But I don't know. This vehicle feels kind of generic too. I mean, if this thing has like 60-ish kilometers per hour top speed, that might be pretty good with that armor. But it just feels kind of very generic of a tier 9. So let's talk equipments, but it should be about the same as with the VZ51. or the Sentinel for that matter. So it's up to you for picking vents or improved hardening, but this thing has so much health without even improved hardening. Holy crap, 1960? It has full field mods, but the field mods only give you like 60 HP. Yeah, only 60 from the field mods. So VZ51 has a butt ton of health for some reason, but you could put improved hardening for more health. You're not really supposed to side scrape, even though you have a very good V-shaped hull, at least on the above the tracks. But if you want better accuracy or better aim time with the gun, and make sure the gun actually works, I would suggest vents and play a little bit more reserved. Putting improved hardening makes you go a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, but this one's up to you. It's a toss-up. So health benefit is not bad too with the 1850 health, but yeah, alright. Second one is vertical stabilizer. Make sure your shot hits. Definitely a must. And finally, I would say either turbocharger or optics, but if you're combat close range heavy tank, I would say turbocharger. Have your teammates spot for you. You don't really need stuff like improved aiming for the accuracy. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, it could, but if you're already close range, accuracy is not a problem. So maybe, but depending on soft stats, it's surprisingly fast to aim. Surprisingly, it's almost the same as a single shot, which is crazy. But I will say vents, vertical stabilizer, and a turbocharger to boot, more or less. Help out with the top speed, mostly the top speed. Yeah, top speed is no comparison. And field mods wise, the same as a breakthrough with the VZ51. First one is better track health or better terrain resistance. If you're aggressive, go with track health. If you want to be reserved and actually get to places first, go with better terrain resistance. So this one's for medium tank playstyle, this one's for heavy tank playstyle. This one's redundant if you already have improved hardening, so go with the first one if you already have, but up to you. Better accuracy or better aim time? Accuracy. Aim times are relatively okay for this caliber of a gun and 2 rounds, so I would say better accuracy. Make sure your shot hits. And view range or stun duration? View range. Sometimes there's no artillery, sometimes you're behind cover, sometimes it's Himmelsdorf and that's redundant. So view range. 380 is okay, but it's not great. So better view range. Yeah, better view range. And top speed or aim time and traverse for the turret. Top speed, 4 kilometers per hour top speed is crazy, right? This is practically a turbocharger on your vehicle at the cost of some aim time. 0.2 is still kind of hefty when you think about it. I mean, you're auto-loading the shells. You already have full accuracy with the 3 seconds between each round. So I would say top speed. Top speed is way more important. Getting to key position, actually making domination on the top of the hill on Himmelsdorf, very important. So whoever has the high ground wins, right? Top speed. But overall, this vehicle feels kind of meh. I mean, the turret front is strong. Doesn't have a weak spot like with the Sentinel, right? Doesn't have a cupola weak spot on top. The gun is scary with 1000 burst, damaging in like 3 seconds. But I will feel this vehicle will be so much better if it has like 55, 60-ish kilometers per hour top speed. It will be very good at that point with like 390 meters of view range, or perhaps like better DPM, like at least 2000 DPM, right? But on paper for now, it feels fine, it feels balanced, and that's the downside. Balance doesn't make a vehicle great, doesn't make a vehicle feels freaking awesome. No, it's not, is it? At least have one caveat that separates this vehicle from a VZ51 or a Sentinel at this point, but it's fair of a vehicle, right? You cannot let this vehicle get to key position because the turret will make it work with the gun depression in the 2 rounds. But after the 2 rounds, you're getting pushed with actual vehicle that has DPM. So your hull armor will not survive against gold shell, definitely. Your turret front could be penned with some high caliber gold as well, but it depends on the actual armor profile. So if this vehicle has like 2000 DPM or 2200 DPM with the autoloader, a lot more respectable with like 50 kilometers per hour top speed or 60. But for now, it feels very fair. I mean, it's no downsides, but it feels fair, and that's not good enough in today's meta, right? You need some caveat that make you separate from the rest of the pack. At least high DPM or high mobility or insane armor with the workable average mobility or DPM, right? This thing feels way too fair. Yeah, way too fair. It's like a 5. I mean, maybe 5.5 on a good day, but if this thing has like 2500 DPM with like 60 kilometers per hour top speed, it's a 7. It's not. So it's not that fast in comparison. Also, not that high of a DPM. Wonky accuracy too. Shell velocity is not the craziest. It's like a 5.5, 5 to 5.5, depending on armor. Well, there you go, folks. The TBT. Direct import from the Russian server without actual space armor or machine guns or different tow hooks, cables. It's the same vehicle practically, just different texture on the dents, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Let's take a look at the actual the red square hangar on the Russian server. We don't get to. It's the 80th anniversary of ending World War II, but in Europe. But that's a very big statue in real life. The lady with the sword. If you're actually seeing a good picture of the actual statue, the statue is enormous, like super big. And originally they had problem with the sword swaying in the wind. It caught too much wind and put too much pressure on the actual arm of the statue. And they actually cut holes into the sword so it doesn't sway as much, putting stress onto the actual statue. But all the generals and the admirals have the same animation. Dab them up. Yeah, dab them up. Dab them up, fam. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. That's a dabbing. The back is cutouts. Oh, that's funny. There's also cutouts with the actual models. You're not supposed to see it this close, but that's kind of funny. They jiggle as well. The cardboards jiggle around, like with animation. Also, why is the vehicle in the hangar facing the actual parade? It's supposed to go the other way, right? Also, there's American in the tank in the back. A T-54 heavy. Okay. IS-3 park in the back. Cutouts in the back. The front row is actual human modeled with the same face and whatever. It's at a distance, but the back is cutouts. Same for the army, same for the tankmen. These are tankers with the hats. These are actual foot soldiers, I believe. That is the Navy. Yep, that is the Navy. That's a publisher? That's a publisher. Okay. Without the bot or the drum mag. Oh. But yeah, alright. Red square. I forgot the name. It's something of a Maiden of Victory or something like that for the actual statue. That's not the actual statue. The statue is enormous. You should see it, but yeah, okay. Okay, well, there you go, folks. Let's see if you can actually see the back. There's a castle? I didn't notice there's a castle in Moscow. Alright. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.